when Cameron was in Egypt's land. Let my Cameron go.
Hello folks, Nathan here. Smoking my new corn cob that I got from James at James Pipes and Dads. Hang around here with the flies in a hot garage. Looking forward to the next week when it cools off a bit. But making another video right off of the box opening that I did. So in the corn cob, which I'm getting a very distinct corn taste off of this first smoke. Never had that before, so that's interesting. So I'm getting that mixed up in the Molto Dolce that James sent me. And so I can't make a judgment on the Molto Dolce with all this corniness going on. So, getting a little bit of sense of, yeah, there are some pretty decent flavors here. But this smoke has got a lot of corn in it. So, it's really interesting. Didn't have that with my previous corn cobs. Definitely do here. So anyway, this is a VR to James Burrows. Congratulations on your 100 subs, brother. I'm real glad I got the chance to meet you and your wife at the Ohio Pipe Show. That was now a couple weeks ago. James is a super, super nice guy. And his wife is a sweetheart. I don't know if I've said this before, but you know, she got a first opportunity to have her own pipe and lit it up live on the Raphael and Anith stream with Flat Cap and Lady Fire. And she was so excited about it. It was really sweet. So I asked her afterwards, I said, so how was it? And she said, got a little dizzy. I think it was James looks at her and says, yep, it's when you know when to stop. And then, you know, I said, yeah, you can go inside, grab yourself a spoonful of sugar, and 5 minutes later you'll be ready to go back to it. Cures all the nick hit. Anyway. So anyway, James, awesome that you got to 100. And having another generous GAW with a corn cob that from the Ohio show that was a pretty cool looking pipe. I wish I had picked up one. I didn't think to. But along with that, 3 cans, and you get to make a choice out of the 3 that he presented, and so, including one that's a 5-year-old tin, a old dark fired. That could be some really good stuff. And also including a can of Skyline chili. Man, you all down there in southwestern Ohio, you got some sort of strange bug for that stuff. Now I will say, I do enjoy me some Skyline. I won't put it on anything. But spaghetti, yeah. You get some onions and some cheddar on that, yeah, it's good. Put it on a coney, yeah, absolutely. Everything else, probably not. But I know you guys like to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if you put it on dessert. Cincinnati folk are weird. I mean, come on, they vote for teams like the Bengals. Can't talk, I'm a Browns fan. If I even pay attention pro. football anymore. Anyway. So, his GAW response is wanting to know where we live and what food we're known for in our area. Now, I've got a couple here in Columbus, Ohio. So fast food, everybody knows about Wendy's. And Columbus is a test market for restaurants for the country. If you want to get a restaurant started, you're not sure if it would work or not, a lot of companies try to just pilot everything here in Columbus. You know, or if you're wanting to test something within your own franchise, you run it through the Columbus market, and if folks here respond well to it, because Columbus is kind of a hodgepodge of folk here, you tend to be pretty confident it'll work everywhere else. And Wendy's was founded here. And Wendy's, as much are aggrieved with, is home of the square burger. So there you go. That's one thing we're known for, the square burger. But again, that's really not much of an argument against Wendy's, because if you can make it into Salisbury steak, what difference does a square burger make? Now, that was also a marketing ploy by Dave Thomas against the burger places like McDonald's and everything, because he didn't like how they would take shortcuts with their food. So he put out a square burger of fresh meat and said, we do things right, we don't cut corners, hence the square burger. So it's a little bit of history there for you. You know, that's what you come here for, right? Now, the other thing that we're known for here in Columbus is the tomato. You're like, what? Tomatoes have been around for ages. Yes, and this is about out. Need to get a new lighter. Yeah. So yeah, tomatoes have been around for a while. Now with the tomato, tomatoes are traditionally, before Livingston's time, were traditionally small, sour little fruits. And you know, you had, you know, like Italy, they use Roma tomatoes in a lot of things, but like those big tomatoes that you see in stores, those didn't exist before Livingston. And Livingston lived from 1822 to 1898 here in Columbus, so he was around for 76 years, and in 1852 he purchased a whole bunch of acreage out in the Reynoldsburg, what is the Reynoldsburg area now, and he cultivated seeds, and so he owned a seed shop, and it was pretty successful. And so he'd sell seeds of all sorts of things, and that helped supplement what he wanted to do with the tomato, which is develop a bigger tomato. And so over the course of 20 years, that's exactly what he did. So in the mid-50s through the mid-70s of the 1800s, he worked on tomato seeds. and developed what became known as what he called the Paragon tomato. And this was a much fuller tomato like we see today. And then over the course of the next 20 years after that until his death, he still continued to work on tomatoes and ended up developing over 30 different varieties of the tomato. And currently there is his house still exists. It's actually a historical monument here in the Columbus area in Reynoldsburg called the Livingston House, and you can do all sorts of things there. And actually my wife and I had our rehearsal dinner reception there at the Livingston House, because as my mother and aunt have told me plenty of times, we actually are descendants of Alexander Livingston, at least we presume. Now, the terribly ironic thing with that is tomatoes make me retch. I hate them. They're gross. I won't touch them. But in my family, apparently, we are responsible for the boom of popularity in the tomato industry among American cooks. So, there you have it. That's what Columbus is known for. That's what my family is known for, apparently. Guess I gotta figure out a way to gain more infamy. Because it ain't coming from YouTube. Anyway, so there you go, James. There's what Columbus is known for in the food world. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll check y'all later. Count your blessings. Be thankful for them. When all that's said and done, grace and peace to you.